We're really talking about a very select number of audit companies. Now, really what I guess the practical impact of this is that when that audit report is done by the audit company, it truly would be an independent audit in which this board has had no political interference or input with. And so if it was critical of a given city, it would not reflect on any other members of this board, or if it was critical of the county, it would not reflect on any of the other cities. So in that sense, it really would be a truly independent and aside from this board, and you know, we certainly can make the case both ways, and if it's going to help with the voters to say, we really will have a truly independent audit done of this, not only the program, but the individual programs by the individual cities, I think it would, according to the surveys that have been done, is a very strong selling point. And for that reason, it mean my personal opinion that we probably should go along with number 2, which would constitute that we have a first reading of number 2 and then come back within 5 to 7 days or something like that for the second reading, and then turn it over for the campaign. Members, anyone else wishing to address this?
Mr. Chair, if I may, I'm not sure if Mr. Root has completed his statements before us. Is there additional information you wish to provide, Mr. Root?
I think the only other, to finish my comments, is that I also heard Mr. Plord again address the one provision, which is that paragraph C in the, I think it's in the plan, and it's in page 13 of one of my pages.
13. Page 13.
And we did
13C.
We did try to address last meeting when you did approve the first reading of the ordinance. We did try to address the concerns that we heard, and this board, this body did try to address that. And so some changes were made here, and so those changes are in here. But I believe that Mr. Plord still would like to see more changes made here. So I just point that out for you to know. And otherwise, I think I'm through explaining these. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to address those.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt option 2 as the proposal before us for the next reading.
I'll second the motion for discussion.
We have a first and second for discussion.
I'd like to go back, Mr. Chair, if I may, to page 5 under option 2, and the stricken words that was identified for us by Mr. Root under item C. And the question I have, it may not be to Mr. Root, but it could be one that someone here might be able to answer for me, and that's, what is the current policy for the county when it goes out for audit? Do we allow the Board of Supervisors to look at those audits and approve the auditor, or how is that dealt with?
Let's think about that. We have Joni Yeager here from County Counsel's office, and I think she knows what normally is done about this procedure.
Thank you.
Joanne Yeager, County Counsel's office. Our auditor, it depends upon the fund, but our auditor picks, go out for a request for proposal, and then we just pick whatever is the lowest or the most appropriate.
My question, if I can continue, Mr. Chair, who picks?
It depends upon the fund, what's being audited. For example, if it's the foreign trade zone will pick an auditor. If it's LAFCO commission will pick an auditor. It depends. It depends upon the fund. Now, the auditor's office will also pick. We many times get contracts from the auditor's office, and we prepare them for the auditors.
The direction for my question, and perhaps this would be something that my colleagues would like to hear I'm taking this line of questioning, and that is, then the oversight, who ultimately has the oversight? And I'm looking at this particular language, and I'm not quite able to determine where that oversight would be, as it's currently listed in option 2, page 5.
The oversight of your audit or the oversight of choosing your
The
auditor?
oversight of the choice and the audit itself.
I understand the way it's been modified, the choice is going to be your committee, but your audit will be coming back to your authority.
Is that the way that the other cities and everybody else here understand, or am I the only one somewhat in the dark?
I'm kind of in the dark, too.
Well, your ordinance itself provides that your auditor, your authority is doing your audit annually.
Thank you. That then speaks to the question and it gives me the answer. Thank you very much, Michelle.
I should just, while you're thinking, if I can add procedural discovery that, well, we've decided as of today, we received input from another county and we've done more research, and we think that you will not have to have a second additional reading of this because it's a tax ordinance, that it will actually need to be approved tonight, whichever version you do, even if you change it. And then in your motion, we would want you to include also a request that the Board of Supervisors present the appropriate resolution to the Elections Department to place this on the November ballot. And so with that proviso and making sure that you understand that our latest research is that you will not have to do a second additional reading. And we just need to make sure that we're getting that resolution from the Board of Supervisors to Dolores before August 8th, I believe is the date.
But would that, if I may, Mr. Chair, would that be because we're going to deem this an emergency ordinance, or?
No, it's going to be a tax ordinance, and it apparently will only need one reading.
And is voted on by the voters.
And it doesn't become effective, of course, as Mr. Grogan just said.
It's voted on by the voters.
Right.
Okay.
For a moment, Mr. Flurry, I'd like to have you come forward. If you would promise to be cordial, more or less. Now, if we could go with number 2. Now, for members of the board, we have worked on number 13, paragraph C. We have gone around and around with COLAB on this, and we just cannot work out anything that is satisfactory with COLAB. Without going through a whole lot of issues, the county cannot do away with the public road commissioner. Even if it does, it has to appoint a director of transportation in order to receive tax money. And so there's some issues there that are just not solvable. And so there's just no way to go for, and to hold everything up because of the relationship that we have with COLAB in the county, and we've tried to accommodate that in the future, that with road projects come in that are going to be road commissioner roads, that they will be advertised as such. COLAB will have a right to audit the challenge, and if the bid comes in and Public Works decides that they can use forced labor at a cheaper cost, COLAB will have a right to audit, or to demand an audit, and that will be done. So that issue aside, Bill, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we really worked on trying to solve this thing, and we just hit a brick wall at the bottom line. But aside from that, will COLAB support, or at least not oppose, the second option that we have here tonight?
Well, first let me comment that I do agree that the county has worked with us a lot on this particular question. And I feel that the county's given a lot of effort to it, and we simply come to a point where we have an impasse. For point of clarification for the other members, by the way, I wouldn't agree with the fact that we're trying to get rid of the roads commissioner. We're trying to leave an avenue for the roads commissioner to still do projects in Pearl Valley.